hard.
Do you think if you weren't gay, you would still be a Jehovah's Witness to this day?
I've thought about that sometimes. She texted me and she said, I heard you're gay, I'm sorry.
Do you think it is a cult?
In my honest opinion,
How are you? Good. Thanks for coming.
nice to see you. You too.
All right, I'm with Rob.
Good.
You grew up a Jehovah's Witness, right?
Yes.
And what was that like?
Repressive.
Yeah.
To say the least. It's a well-intentioned religion. It just has a lot of strict rules they have to follow, and it doesn't end well for a lot of people.
Did you like it when you were growing up? Like, did you think that you would always be a Jehovah's Witness?
Yes.
And were all your friends only Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yes. Pretty much in the religion, everything it encompasses the religion, and you are surrounded by people who are witnesses, and that is your entire world, your entire...
Yeah, because I saw that online that you're not allowed to have friends that are not Jehovah's Witnesses. Is that true?
Right, yeah. We're not supposed to associate with them.
Did you have any friends outside of the religion, like secretly or not?
When I was younger, no. I was a pretty, as they term it, a good witness.
Oh, is that what it's called? Like,
yeah.
When you like are obeying the rules?
Yeah, exactly. I was a good witness. It wasn't until later in life that I was more open to saying, hey, you know, maybe there's more people out there. Maybe there's something else.
Yeah, because I would imagine, especially with social media and stuff right now, you have easy access to see other ways of life.
Well, the funny part about that is that I think that's what actually one of the things that came into play, because MySpace became popular.
Right.
When I was younger, showing my age.
Same.
But yeah, I mean, like that opened my eyes to a lot of people and just meeting different, you know, walks of life.
When did you know that you were gay and that was gonna be something you have to go through?
Early on, I remember saying to myself, like in a Walmart, I remember like it was going like perusing through the underwear section or whatever, and I was like,
yes.
And I was like, okay, Rob, you're gay.
Wait, I remember thinking I was gay too, and I would go in a Macy's and I'd see like the underwear and like the guy models, and I'd be like, oh my god, okay, I like this.
Exactly.
Okay. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Did you think at that time like you were just never gonna come out and you were just gonna live a life?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I remember even in that moment, I was like 12, and I said, okay, that doesn't matter. You can't ever share this with anyone. You can't do anything about that. You have to, you know, essentially conform to what is expected of you.
Right.
And in our religion, you get reported to the elders if you're this or that, or like you do something. And so that was always a big thing too. For me, the decision I made to leave was a slow one. A lot of people in the faith just up and go.
Right.
And the problem with that is that you are not prepared, and you lose everything, and you don't have like a support system or a backup system. It's a huge sense of loss, you know, when you leave that faith. So
I can imagine. Oh my gosh, it's so sad, and it's like it's so probably conflicting in yourself, because it's like your family and there's everyone you grew up with, and it's like they all think one thing, and that's what you thought for so long too, and then all of a sudden it's like
none of it's real anymore to you, or like not just it doesn't exist. And you're like, wait, and you're kind of left with like, what do I do now? I think I got for myself to a point where I was just like, I'm living for all these other people, and I'm not living for myself, you know?
Oh my gosh, I think that's so inspiring, and I feel like I feel lucky because I grew up in a very liberal family with people that accepted me from like the moment I came out and stuff, but I can only imagine like how hard it must be to live in your truth, because it's like, it's your family, you know what I mean? And it's like you want... I don't know, like you want to make them proud and you want to do what they want, and so it's like, but then you have to live your own life too, you know?
Exactly. I think that's that's where things changed for me. It was just like, okay, well, I've done everything that I can, like to please my parents, please like everybody in the congregation, that kind of thing. And I got to the point where it's just like, when do I get to be me? When, you know,
please yourself,
I'll make myself happy. Then when, you know, my parents don't talk to me anymore. My mom actually found out that I was gay from someone else, and they actually messaged her.
Wait, so how do they find out?
I guess someone...
Social media or something?
Someone told her that I was gay, and then she texted me and she said, I heard you're gay, I'm sorry. And I was like, yeah.
She's sorry that she's not gonna be able to talk to you anymore.
Maybe, or that she's just sorry that I'm gay. But yeah, so it's all right. So it was one of those things where it's just like, okay, I don't know how to respond, so I just said LOL.
That's what you said back? Yeah. LOL?
Just because...
Wow. Well, I mean, good for you. It's like, what else are you gonna say back? It's like, it's... Oh my gosh, it's so tough.
Yeah, it was tough. It was not the way that I would have wanted to have that conversation with my mom. She's like she was one of the most important people in my life. You know?
And she still like probably is, you know?
Yeah, she is.
We got our iced coffees. Cheers, you know. Two gay guys with their iced coffees. It's essential.
Necessities on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning.
Yeah. So I want to go back to you coming out as gay.
Okay.
and what that was like. Who was the first person you told?
First person I officially told was my friend Danny. I told him, I feel like it was like kitchen at a party.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just like, hey, I have to tell you something. I was like, it's been on my mind for a while, and I was like, I just want to tell you.
Had you been planning it, or just kind of come out?
No, it kind of just came out.
Well, how did it feel after you told him? Are you like, oh my God,
it felt really
amazing.
good. The fact that he was just like, dude, you're my friend. Like, I don't care. Like, it felt so good. And I think that's the biggest thing with people when you're like coming out. You're just like, like no, like your world's gonna end. Like, and for some and like myself, in some ways it does. But in general, you just feel so much better, and people take it a lot better than you think that they're gonna take it. I think growing up as we do, it's like, are you sure? Like, you know, it could just be like a
phase.
Yeah, or this, you know.
You're gonna grow out of it.
Yeah, and that definitely came from a few people. Or like, are you sure? Like, you know.
When you know you're gay, you know you're gay. You know, and
yeah,
it's like
100%. And for someone to say that, it's just like, people have to realize that, like, when you say that, it's a bit hurtful, because it's like, no, I'm like, do you think I would like, I want to tell you this? Like,
right.
You know, for me to be not sure or unsure, you know.
Yeah, like this took a lot of like courage for me to tell you this, and
Right.
like I'm not just like wishy-washy about how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling.
Right, exactly.
How long after that did you tell your family?
So my brother, I told him around like 2014, so like a year after I had told my best friend. My youngest brother, he to me, I thought he's just a guy's guy, and like he just more, if that makes sense, like he just didn't seem like he'd take to it very well. Or he'd be disappointed that his oldest brother is like, you know, a gay man.
Right.
And he wasn't, and he's actually like such a big supporter, and he was like, dude, I can't believe you would think that, like, you know, I'm always here for you, I love you. And again, one of those things where like it's like a 180, you're surprised. You're like, wait, what? So like, you know, it was really heartwarming for me. It was
That's
just like
amazing.
my other brother I told, and he's more liberal in that sense. He's just like, yeah, he's my middle brother. He's like, yeah, no big deal. He's like,
So wait, I don't know if you told me this. So wait, so are they still Jehovah's Witnesses? Or?
no, they're not.
So just your mom is.
My mom and my stepdad are, and my
Okay.
sister is, or half sister, yeah. And so she is still in the religion, but yeah.
So your mom got remarried.
She did. So when we were young, when I was a baby, like probably like 3, or like a toddler, I should say, and my brothers were very young, we ended up going on a vacation to Georgia. My real dad was driving. He fell asleep at the wheel, and he actually fell out. Like, he crashed, went over an embankment, and he fell out of the car, and the car crushed him, and we were all in the car. Yeah.
And you were in the car?
Yeah, we were all.
Do you
in the car.
remember it?
No. I thought I had memories of it, but from what I told my mom, it wasn't like.
Do you remember him at all?
No. Wow. Yeah. And I, you know, it's nice because I see pictures and like,
Yeah.
you know, but I never knew my dad, so I don't know. You know, that was definitely tough. So she didn't remarry until I was 7, so it was like 4 years of her just being by herself, and being a single mom. Yeah. But she saw her husband die. Like, it's
Oh my
just,
gosh.
Yeah. They got out and they're just like, oh my God, and he was just lying there. My mom was like screaming. It was not a fun scene.
Was he a Jehovah's Witness too? Like, were you,
Yes.
so you were born into this?
Mhm.
It wasn't like she found that after that.
No, and you know, yeah, and she was born into it too. I mean, she, you know, her mom, our grandmother, she converted, and
I assume that most people are born into it because
most people nowadays are. I mean, there are still converts, but it's not as frequent.
Do you think it's like a dying religion?
In my opinion, yes, because there's a lot of it that is very, very strict and very. It's not for a lot of people.
Yeah, it
to
seems
say
like
the
you can't.
least.
It seems like you can't live a free life. It seems
No.
like you have to live a life for somebody else, and who wants to do that?
Not a lot of people.
And did you do the door to door?
Yes, I used to put 70 hours in a month. Yeah, going door to door.
Did you get paid for that?
No. Yeah.
So that's just as like volunteer.
Yeah, because essentially the mentality is that like, hey, you know, you're trying to save people's lives and you're trying to get the word out and the message out.
Did you enjoy it or did you dread it?
I did at first, and then I started to dread it, to be honest, you know, and I just ended up stopping. It was another thing where it was just like I did it because it was what I was supposed to do, and it made sense logically. It's like, all right, you've graduated high school, and again, and that's another thing too, is like, you know, you're not encouraged to go to college, you're not encouraged to get like, you know, a job, because essentially the world is like the Titanic in their terms, you know, like it's sinking, so why would you even bother?
I read that online. I read that like that Jehovah's Witnesses think the world is like run by Satan or something, and so it's
Right.
like you're living in this world of
Right,
fear.
exactly. You're in Satan's world, and he controls everything. And so it's like, you know, if you get a true career, it's like you're wasting your time, because you should be out instead, door to door, witnessing to people and telling them, hey, you know, God's kingdom is approaching. get your act together.
It seems like a very negative way of like approaching life, like thinking that the world is just going to end.
Right, and it is, but it's not until like in retrospect, when you take a step back and you leave the faith, that you really realize like how like negative and like how what
pessimistic.
Pessimistic. The nature of the religion is, because truly you're living for the end that may never come, because and you're sacrificing all these things, like
the beauty of life.
Yeah, the beauty of life, essentially, and then you die, in hopes that you did the best that you could for something that you're not sure is even going to come. You know,
when you did the door-to-door knocking, like, was it ever successful? Because in my mind, it was like when I was a kid and we would see someone come, like my mom would like shut the blinds, and like we would just, and I would like peer through the peephole because I thought it was so interesting, you know. But I was just like, I couldn't see how
I experienced that many times.
Yeah, what was that like?
I mean, when it's hard when you're a kid, and then it's actually strange too when you're like actually step back and you look at that, you know. You're this kid in a suit and you're knocking at a door like some stranger.
How old were you?
They start you early. I mean, you're like 4 or 5. Yeah, you go to the door. Yeah.
I bet it's more effective when there's kids involved because it's like cuter.
Yeah, because they don't want to like say no. Yes. And that kind of thing. Yeah. But as a kid, I definitely had a door slammed in my face a couple times. I definitely had people not be very friendly. You don't get a lot of people who listen.
Yeah, totally. Because we already have our preconceived notions of what
exactly.
this is, and we don't want to hear anything else.
Yeah, I mean, they think cult. They think like this and that. You know, that kind of thing.
Do you think it is a cult?
In my honest opinion, in a lot of ways, yes. It's a cult way of thinking. It's very much them against everyone else, and you're part of this. It's like an exclusive club. You're part of this world, and if you fall out of line, if you do anything outside of it, we're done with you, kind of thing. You know.
So you have no communication with your mom?
No, she doesn't really talk to me at all. So.
Do you think you ever will?
No. My thing is, I'm empathetic to the like idea. Like, I understand why she does what she does. Same with my stepdad. Same with a lot of my family that are still part of the religion. Because I don't want to sit here and like, you know, talk bad about religion. Yeah. You know, in that sense.
I don't either.
However, I do think it's important for people to understand that it's very real what happens to people like when they're like excommunicated, when they're disfellowshipped. Essentially, like I said earlier, you are cut off from everything that you ever knew, and you have to restart your life. You have to say, okay, well, what do I do now? You know, and then you're not given the tools as a young adult, like to go to. You didn't go to college. You didn't go to this or that. You have to figure everything out on your own, and it's very, very troubling.
It like almost puts you in a handicapped situation because you like didn't live the way that most people live.
Right, and the thing about that is it's kind of smart, because in that way people come back because they don't have anything else, you know.
What's like something positive from the religion that you still like take with this day in you? You know that you still.
Sure, something positive from it that I take. Something positive. Hello. Something positive I take from the religion is just being a good person to others.
You are a really kind person. You're warm. And, you know, you seem like really, I don't want to use the word normal because what's normal, but you seem very like just, I would never think of what you've gone through in your life or what you've had to overcome. But also I feel like that makes you a strong person because like the fact you've had to like stand in your truth and like, you know, not talk with your mom because she's not, I mean, whatever. Like it just seems like that must make such a strong person.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd like to think that. And sometimes I am. But yeah, it's definitely trying. There's definitely days where you're like, I can't do it.
Do you find yourself still struggling to this day with that?
Oh, I don't think you ever escape it fully. I think that's something that's with any person that's outside of the religion. It stays with you constantly.
It's almost like a death.
Yeah,
like it's like a death of your old self.
Yes, yeah, and you're essentially reborn.
Do you feel like you're happier now?
Yes, no, 100%. I'm happy that I left the religion for myself. I'm happy that I can be who I am, but I'm not happy about like not being able to be friends with the people that I was friends with. I'm not happy about not having my mom and my stepdad, my sister in my life. But I am happy that I was able to have the sight to see, okay, this is not what I want to do.
I'm like proud of you, and it's inspiring. Like even though I don't go through any of those kind of struggles, but it's inspiring to like stand up for what you believe in and to follow what you want to do with your life. And like
it's not easy.
Like, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's hard.
Do you think if you weren't gay, you would still be a Jehovah's Witness to this day?
I've thought about that sometimes. I don't think so. I think it's not just being gay for me, it is also my personality as a person. I wanted more in life, as far as like I wanted to see things, I wanted adventure, I wanted to enjoy things. and you can't do it in the way that I wanted to do it as a witness, you know. So if I was gay, I mean, if I was straight, I don't think I would be in it. I think I'd still try to find my own path.
It may have taken a little bit longer.
It might have taken me, it might have took me a bit longer. I probably would be married by like 19 or 20 too. But
right, with another Jehovah's Witness, you'd have to go through that.
Exactly, and maybe have kids.
Right.
It'd probably been a little bit messier for me, but.
All right, I made a little true or false. Just from like things I found online, and I don't know if they're accurate, but I'm just excited for you to tell me if they are. So
let's see.
Okay, so the first one is you're not allowed to celebrate your birthday or holidays or any Christmas or any like tradition like that.
True.
So did you have a birthday?
No. So we never celebrated our birthday.
So how do you remember how old you are?
I mean, just because we know the date.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
So even on the day, there'd be no even acknowledgement, your mom would be like a nudge or anything?
No.
Do you think she would even know, like, oh, that was a day?
Yeah, she knew. It wasn't a celebration thing, you know.
And do you celebrate it now?
Oh, yeah.
Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yep. It's my favorite.
Me too. Oh my gosh, I love Christmas. It's so jolly.
No, I think that was part of it too. And even as a kid, I loved the holidays and stuff.
What were you allowed to watch when you were a kid?
We snuck MTV stuff, and then we mostly watched Nickelodeon. So.
We all would like sneak our shows. Like I feel like when my parents were gone, I'd sneak like Jerry Springer or something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And feel like so dangerous.
It was like, mom, dad, you don't know what I'm watching.
You're not allowed to donate blood or get blood donations, even if it's like you need it to live.
True. Right. Yeah. We see. No, the witnesses. You don't take blood transfusions, and we don't.
So you would sooner die than take a blood transfusion.
Yeah, there have been cases where people.
That's so sad.
My dad was actually I told you that story about when he was in the accident. They took him, and he wasn't allowed to have blood transfusions, and he died.
Would he?
I don't know that he would have survived if he didn't have it, but yeah.
You're not allowed to take a stand on anything political or worldly outside of the organization.
That's correct.
So even if it's something you believe in.
Yeah, there's no activism in that sense. So the best thing you can do is go door to door.
That's the way of doing your...
That's your activism, yeah. You're saving lives in that sense.
You're not allowed to vote.
No. That actually stuck with me for quite a bit. It took me a while to take that step and actually be part of like the political world. Yeah, I don't know. It just always kind of stuck with me. Like, oh, I'm not part of this, like whatever. And I finally did. I think it was like 2016. That was my first time that I was like, all right, I'm voting for Bernie.
Yes.
Back in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was exciting.
It was exciting. Yeah, it was cool. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. I can't believe it. I registered.
Yes, it feels good to have like a voice.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I did my part.
You are not allowed to take yoga classes.
Yeah, no.
Is it because it's like to do with like spiritual?
I think that's what it is.
Have you ever taken a yoga class?
Yeah, I did a couple times. I loved it.
Yes. Oh my god.
It's hard, but I loved it.
It is hard. You're not allowed to like toast drinks, like cheers. You're not allowed to believe in good luck or say things that there's like good luck.
True. Right.
It's so interesting. Like you're not allowed to wish someone good luck. It seems like such a friendly thing to do.
No. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can't do that. You're not supposed to say like bless you or.
I saw that too. Like when someone sneezes, like you're not supposed to say bless you.
Yeah. So for a long time I didn't. or like after, and then I was like, yeah, whatever.
Because I'm not even religious. I'm not even religious, but I say bless you to someone just because I just.
It's like a courteous thing.
Yeah. I'm not like
it's
bless
American
you.
thing.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not like that at all. I just say bless you if someone sneezes. Yeah. Totally. You're not allowed to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you know the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every kid knows it just because you have to.
Yeah, so when you're in school and everyone would stand up.
I don't. Yeah, you don't speak it, and you don't put your hand on your heart. You just stand there.
Do you remember feeling awkward? Like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Who are like famous Jehovah's Witnesses? Because I know isn't Serena and Venus Williams? Are they still?
I think so.
Do they like promote them like in Scientology? Do they like promote like the famous?
No.
It's not like that.
No, it's not like that. Again, because that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? They're more concerned about saving that person's or like thinking that they're gonna save this person's life. So in that way, no, we're not like a celebrity-driven religion in that sense. And I think that's what a lot of celebrities find interesting about the religion itself. But yeah,
it's not gonna like promote that.
No. So yeah, like Michael Jackson, Prince.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah, he grew up a Jehovah's Witness. He didn't renounce the faith until after Thriller came out. Yeah, and the elders, he got in trouble with the elders.
Wow. For telling people that he's Jehovah's Witness?
No,
or for Thriller?
No, for Thriller itself because it promoted like the undead and all that stuff. So he got in a lot of trouble for that. And then so they had a differing of thoughts about that. His mom still is a Jehovah's Witness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are big names.
Yeah.
This has been so interesting to me. Like, I'm so happy, and thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for having me.
And like, I feel like I made a new friend, which is amazing.
Me too.
And yeah, I just feel like I hope people out there, I hope you guys watching, like, I think it's interesting, and let me know in comments if you have any other questions for Rob, and maybe we'll get him back if you guys want to ask more questions. I'm sure there are things that I left out that I should have covered, but I was just so interested in what you had to say.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too. All right, sweet.
Bye.
Next week on Our Queer Life, I head to Slab City, the last lawless land in the United States, to meet Cornelius, a genderqueer anarchist who runs a library there. Wow.
Like, I'm sorry that you're offended that this man has a vagina.
Do you date a lot here?
At the end of the day, we're all here because we're not all there. We're literally squatting on government land.